If you want to call the meeting to order, I will call the roll.
Great. Okay. I'm delighted, Kevin Burke, delighted to call this meeting to order. It's the June 2021 meeting of the Greenway Conservancy, well, actually combined meeting of the Greenway. So, Scott, with that, let's do a roll.
All right. Are any of the commissioners on the line or the chair of the Empire State Development Corporation? All right. I know that we have Kitty Brown, Kevin Burke, Jane Daniels, and Betsy Jacks. Is Sarah Eidelman on the line? Sarah Eidelman? All right. We have Cindy Landetta, Deanie LeBeau. We have Jane McLaughlin. We have Owen Rafter representing Mark Molinaro. Is Dennis Murray on the line? We have Sarah Olson, Aaron Tobin, Daniela Weiss. Is Jeannie Williams on the line?
I am on the line.
Thank you. And Stefan Nierebek is here by proxy. I'm going to assume we don't have either Assemblyman Engelbright or Senator Kaminsky. Wint Aldrich is here by proxy. Vincent Altieri is here. Kathleen Bukowski. Jennifer Carlquist, our newest council member representing Putnam County. Carla Castillo, Meg Downey, Bob Elliott, who will act as chair for the council today, and Lori Ensinger are all here. Marcel Florestel. Sandra Galiff is being represented by Andrew Liebert. Welcome, Andrew. Betty Head?
Yes.
Welcome. Chairman McHenry is not here. Mary McNamara?
I'm here.
Rich Schiaffo. And we have Linda Vonderheide and Joanna Yawn. From the advisory committee, we have Andy Bicking. And delegates include Nancy Beard from DEC, Linda Cooper from State Parks, Jamie Ethier, Department of State, the aforementioned Andrew Liebert for Assemblywoman Galiff, Leo Christian for the Commissioner of OGS, Frank Rooney for Ag and Markets, Jason Wolfganger for DOT, and Owen Rafter, as aforementioned, for Marcus Molinaro. Are there any other delegates on the phone?
Hi, Michelle Smith is on for my last meeting.
Yes.
Hi.
And we also have from the Greenway staff, Cody Arana, Andrew Beers, Beth Campacharo, Shannon Day, Dan Jeanson, and Scott Keller. And Chairman Burke, it's over to you for the welcome.
Great. Well, welcome everyone. Glad to hear your voices. I'm hoping this is the last time that we have to meet this way. I think when we get reconvene in the fall, hopefully we'll be able to do so again in person, which would be terrific. It's been a long time since we've gotten to see each other, and I miss you all, and I'm looking forward to that time. So let's see. We've kind of gone through the roll call, so now it's time for the agenda review and any board member comments on the agenda. And I did want to note there was something that we needed to note for the agenda, which is the town of Greenville is recommended for a council grant in Orange County, not Greene County. That should be noted, and that the Conservancy today is not passing a contingency budget. So with that, let me ask if there are any comments on the agenda today. Okay, hearing none, let's move to our third item, which is approving past minutes. So the first item here is the March 10th, 2021 combined meeting minutes. So this is for sort of everyone that was attending as a board member. We need to approve those minutes, so that will need a motion in a second.
I so move, Jean Williams.
Thank you, Jean. Okay, and a second?
Jane Daniels, second.
Thank you, Jane. Okay, terrific. All in favor, please signal by saying aye.
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 Any opposed?
This is Kitty Brown, and I'm just going to abstain since I didn't attend the meeting.
All right, thank you,
I was
Kitty.
there by proxy.
Okay, fine, sure.
Jennifer Carlquist, I'm doing the same.
Thanks, Jennifer. Okay, great. And then now we have to approve the minutes of the Grants Committee meeting, which was held last week on June 4th. So those are those specific minutes, and that's only for those who are Grants Committee members. So again, I'll need
Bob Elliott.
Thank you, Bob.
Bob Elliott would like that.
Thank you, Bob. And a second?
Yep. Meg Daniels.
Thank you, Meg. Okay, all those in favor of those approving those minutes, please signal by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any recusals? Very terrific. All right. So moving forward, we're now going to move to the Communities Council portion of the meeting, and with Barney not here today, Bob Elliott has graciously offered to chair this part of the meeting. So thank you, Bob.
And my pleasure to call the meeting to order.
All right, thank you. I will introduce the first item, which is a certificate of appreciation for Michelle Smith, and it was in your packets, but I will read it because I know we have a few people on the line who don't actually get packets. Proclamation commending Michelle Smith for distinguished service to the board of the Hudson River Valley Greenway Communities Council, whereas Michelle Smith was appointed to the Greenway Council on the 14th day of December 2016 and has faithfully attended the meetings and participated in the proceedings, and whereas Michelle Smith has provided the citizens of the Hudson Valley with time, effort, and knowledge, and whereas Michelle Smith will be relocating to Australia, therefore be it resolved, the joint boards of the Hudson River Valley Greenway do hereby pause in their deliberations to honor and commend Michelle Smith for nearly 5 years of dedicated service to the communities and citizens of the Hudson River Valley Greenway, and be it further resolved that a copy of this proclamation be provided to Michelle Smith by the Greenway as a symbol of appreciation. And we will vote on everything at the end of the council portion, if that's all right with you, Mr. Elliott.
Absolutely.
Okay. The next item is to welcome Jennifer Carlquist to the council. Jennifer was appointed as the Putnam County representative by the Putnam County Executive, Mary Ellen Odell, on March 24th. Jennifer is replacing Michelle Smith. As previously noted, Michelle is moving to Australia, and she feels the commute to the in-person meetings would be a bit much. Jennifer has been the executive director of Boscobel since 2018 and has lived in the Hudson Valley for the past 25 years. We have worked together on a number of projects, and I am looking forward to her new role as a council board member. And I want to thank Michelle Smith for recommending Jennifer to the county executive. And I would like to offer the opportunity for either Michelle or Jennifer to comment at this point on either of the first two items.
This is Michelle. I just wanted to say thank you very much to the Greenway. I've really enjoyed my years on Greenway, and I'm very sorry that I won't get to be at your first and hopefully soon in-person meeting. But I also will say that you've upgraded by having Jennifer be your next Putnam County representative. So I'll hand it over to Jennifer now. Thank you very much, Scott.
Well, as usual, Michelle, you're a very tough act to follow. Thank you so much for that. And thanks so much, Scott, for the warm welcome. I know Boscobel has benefited enormously from the Greenway, as has all of Putnam County. So thrilled to represent them as best I can in this role. Thank you.
All right. Our next item is to reappoint Sarah Olson to the Conservancy Board of Directors. Sarah's term expired March 22nd of this year. She is an appointee of the Greenway Council, and she also serves as the Conservancy Secretary.
Thank you.
The next item is a compact community designation for the town of Carmel in Putnam County, and I want to continuing our with so many new members, continuing our education program a little bit. We have two types of community designations. The first of which is a compact community designation, as in this case. It is the highest level of designation we have. It means a community has changed their zoning law to conform to a Greenway compact plan prepared and adopted by a county and approved by the Greenway Council. In our enabling legislation, this is defined as a participating Greenway community. These communities accrue all benefits of being a compact community as set forth in our legislation. under the Greenway Compact. The counties which have approved Greenway Compacts are Dutchess, Orange, Putnam, Rockland, and Westchester. The second type of designation, and we have one of those today also, is as a Greenway community. This lets a community work with us at an introductory level. Communities become eligible for Greenway community grants. They agree to address the 5 Greenway criteria, which are natural and cultural resource protection, regional planning, economic development, including tourism and agriculture, public access to the Hudson River, and other areas of regional significance, and heritage and environmental education. Are there any questions from any of the board members on this explanation? Okay, hearing none. The town of Carmel and Putnam County is seeking designation as a compact community member. They have passed the requisite local law amending their zoning to adopt the Putnam County Compact Plan. This will bring to 59 the number of compact communities. So, moving on to the community designation request, the Village of Woodbury in Orange County is seeking designation as a Greenway community and pledges to consider our 5 criteria in developing, planning, and projects. This will bring to 282 the number of Greenway communities, which includes all 59 of the compact communities. The next item is adoption of the Dutchess County Greenway Guide update. Dutchess County has adopted 2 new guides to their county compact plan, which is entitled Greenway Connections, Greenway Compact Program, and Guides for Dutchess County Communities. The 2 new guides both relate to light pollution, as given off by the first digital signs, and the second LED lighting. Any questions on any of those? Okay. Moving on to the Community Council grants. The total amount we are going to be asking you to award today is $38,000. Our appropriation for awarding this year is $136,000. We expect our cash ceiling to be somewhat less than that. The first grantee that the Grants Committee is recommending is Orange County. They are seeking $25,000 for an open space plan update, and the Grants Committee recommends $10,000. Funding will go towards updating the county open space plan, adopted by the county legislature as an addendum to its comprehensive plan in 2004. The county landscape has changed dramatically over the past 17 years, and the plan is overdue for an update. The next grant is for the town of Greenville in Orange, not Greene County. There is actually a Greenville in both counties, and the Orange County Greenville is seeking, and the Grants Committee recommends $10,000 for a zoning code update. The town will identify deficiencies in its zoning code, which has not been comprehensively updated since 1989. Much of the current code has been amended in a piecemeal manner, leading to inconsistent enforcement and board decisions that have often been contradictory to town goals. This zoning audit will form the transition of the initiative from comprehensive plan to zoning code update. The next grant is for the town of Kingsbury in Washington County. They are seeking, and the Grants Committee recommends $10,000 for phase 1 of a comp plan update. The town seeks to initiate the public outreach and engagement of the comp planning effort. This initial phase will focus on intensive, immersive, virtual, and in-person visioning report to provide direction for the comp plan. It will replace a 48-year-old comp plan that was adopted in 1973. There are not many people who participated in or remember the last time the town updated their comp plan. And so in this community, we think public outreach and engagement will be critical to involve and allay the fears of the public about planning. So the final grant is for the town of Woodstock in Ulster County. They are seeking, and the Grants Committee recommends $8,000 for a comp plan implementation of zoning updates for housing and community character. This update will address housing diversity and community character, and is part of implementing the comp plan adopted in November 2018. That plan identified the intersectionality of land use housing needs, sustainable economic growth in the environment, and the need to update the 1987 zoning to bring it into alignment with the comp plan. An experienced consultant will guide the process with the Housing Committee and other community stakeholders to produce a revised zoning code focused on housing, incorporating community character, and sustainability that can be adopted by the town. When they last updated their zoning in 1987, I was still living in Woodstock, and I've been living in Albany for almost a quarter century. So, do any board members have any questions on the grants that are proposed by the Grants Committee? And is anybody else hearing an echo of my voice?
Yes.
Yeah, I am. But
Everybody just needs to go on.
Okay.
everybody's echoing.
All right. If everybody
Scott, the echo is simply an indication of your gravitas.
Or I'm all alone in a big empty room. If there are no questions, Mr. Elliott, we need a motion to reappoint Sarah Olson to the Conservancy Board. Welcome the town of Carmel and Putnam County as a participating Greenway compact community. Welcome the village of Woodbury in Orange County as a Greenway community. Adopt the 2 new Dutchess County Greenway guides and award the grants recommended by the Grants Committee.
Okay, I'd welcome a motion to approve all Scott has just outlined.
I make that motion, Linda Vonderheide.
And a second?
I'll second Erin Tobin.
Thank you.
And Scott, if everybody will put themselves on mute except for the speaker, the echo should go away.
Hold on. Erin Tobin can't make that second because she's a Conservancy member, and this is for council members.
Sorry. I thought I heard. Never mind.
So we do need a second from somebody on the council, so you can take yourself off mute for that.
Meg Downhill, second.
Okay, thank you, Meg. All in favor, please signal by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Right,
And
sounds
does anyone need to abstain on any of this? Excellent. Well, congratulations, Sarah. And that concludes the council portion of the meeting. Kevin, if you want to.
Thank you very much, Scott. Let's move on to the Conservancy portion of the agenda. And right off the top, I believe we'll be getting an update on the Empire State Trail from Andy Beers.
You're on mute, Andy.
Thank you, Kevin and Scott. I would echo the comments others have made. If you are not speaking, please mute your phone so we can eliminate the echo on the call here. I'm going to give Empire on an update on the Empire State Trail and the Albany Hudson Electric Trail. Pause for questions and comments from the board on that update, and then the third item is a resolution we're asking the board to adopt relating to seeker findings for an additional parking area on the Albany Hudson Electric Trail. For the Empire State Trail, it's fully open, as you know, since December, but now that the spring and summer weather is here, we are seeing very high levels of use across the trail, great enthusiasm. I have the ability to be out on many parts of the trail on a regular basis, and anecdotally can just report that, there's lots of people out there enjoying it. And then our partner organization, Parks and Trails New York, they collect detailed trail usage data at various places on the Erie Canalway Trail, and they reported that in 2020, calendar year 2020, trail use on the Erie Canal at various locations was up 20 to 50% above historical averages, and if anything, we're seeing even more use this year, so it's all very positive. The work on the Empire State Trail, all construction projects reached the point by last December where the Governor announced the trail was complete and open for the public, but when you do finish up construction late in the calendar year, there are, of course, punch list items that need to be addressed, things like landscaping, getting grass to grow, some final signs, fencing, other things like that. So all that has been almost all tidied up. There's one or two items left, but basically this spring our many state and local government partners have been completing that work, and we're several weeks away from being 100% done on everything. I am working with Scott and our consultants to draft a final report on the Empire State Trail that will be released probably later this summer, that will certainly be distributed to the board, that will just, wrap a bow around all the projects and provide a written record of what was accomplished, as well as some recommendations for the future, the next iteration or the future of the Empire State Trail. We also are working, we just started a project with our consultants and New York State's ITS agency to create some enhancements to the Empire State Trail website. The website's generally received very positive reviews, but we are aiming to add some features like a section on lodging, overnight lodging, that identifies all places people can stay within 5 miles along the trail for trip planning, as well as some additional functionalities on the online map to respond to some requests we've received from the public. Another item of work underway, switching gears, is there are some existing sections of the Empire State Trail that are 20 years old or more, that are in poor condition, deteriorated asphalt with roots or stone dust that is, largely grown in. And so Scott and I are working with partners across the state, some other state agencies, as well as some local governments on a roster of 11 projects that in total will resurface 50 miles of the Empire State Trail statewide, older sections that existed prior to 2017. And that work, some of it is already underway. The Greenway has completed rehabilitation of a short 0.3 of a mile section in the city of Hudson, and Westchester County is resurfacing 6 miles of their trail as we speak, and New York State DOT is resurfacing 3.5 miles of the Empire State Trail in Albany County next to the Hudson River, for example. The other 8 projects are all in planning, and much of that construction will occur this fall. The last thing I would report on the Empire State Trail is the governor, in his State of the State address last January, included an item that creating the Empire State Challenge, which was a way to promote the trail and get people out and using it. We determined that with the governor's office this winter and early spring, when we were planning this, that due to the pandemic, it wasn't really appropriate to schedule a series of events, people standing there on the trail, shoulder to shoulder, doing things. And so this year's challenge is a virtual event that we stood up with a partner organization, the Boilermaker Race in Utica, that runs road races. And people go online and they, for a modest fee, they register to sign up for the Empire State Challenge, and then they walk, run, or bike where they live individually, hopefully on the Empire State Trail. They can be elsewhere. To date, there have been more than 600 registrations for the challenge, and the participants collectively have logged more than 84,000 miles of running, walking, and riding on trails and getting outdoors and exercising. So if any of you are interested, the challenge runs through July 31st, and if you just use your search engine for Empire State Trail Challenge, you will easily find that website. Switching to the Albany Hudson Electric Trail, we are just finishing up a couple of punch list items on that as well. All work will be complete by the end of June here. We're getting very high use on the trail, very positive reviews, and particularly now that the summer is here, a fair amount of press coverage just promoting the trail, all of which has been very positive. One issue we have been addressing is the need for additional parking. The trail has proved so popular that, we determined we needed additional parking on the Albany Hudson Electric Trail. This is, of course, in Rensselaer and Columbia County. It's the trail that the Greenway constructed and operates. At our last March 10th board meeting, the board approved seeker findings for creation of 4 new parking areas along the trail, 2 in Rensselaer County, 2 in Columbia County. I can report 2 of those new parking areas are complete and being used by the public, and the other 2 are under construction as we speak, and those will be complete by the end of June as well. So at the end of my segment here, I do have an additional board resolution on another parking area, but before we take that up, let me pause and open up for the board for questions or comments about either the Empire State Trail or the Albany Hudson Electric Trail.
Thank you, Andy. Comments?
Okay. I will keep going then, Kevin. The final item, we do have a board resolution. For those of you who are looking at the PDF, the board packet on your computer, it starts on page 40. It's agenda item Roman numeral 5, letter C. We have identified yet another potential parking area in the town of Schodack, Rensselaer County, along the Albany Hudson Electric Trail. A landowner who owns a open half-acre area of lawn adjacent to the trail, just unused grassy area, has approached the Greenway and expressed interest in making that available for an additional parking space, which is urgently needed in the town of Schodack. We have completed an environmental assessment form determining there's no significant environmental impacts to constructing the trail on that location. It's not 100% certain that this parking area will come to fruition. We are in our due diligence phase, including title review of the property, appraisal, and so forth. But everything is positive. The landowner very much wants to see this happen. So I'm optimistic, although not certain. But it is appropriate at this time to ask the board to adopt our seeker findings, finding a negative declaration. And so we have a resolution item number, as I said, room number 5C. That's the Greenway Conservancy Board declaring a seeker negative declaration for the additional parking area, 56 Old Miller Road in the town of Schodack, New York. If the project is, if we stay on track and reach final agreement with the landowner, then this parking area would be constructed late summer or this fall.
Kevin, I would recommend that we take a vote on this separately from everything else.
That's fine. Thank you both. Yeah, so this is a vote just for Conservancy Board members. And first of all, are there any questions or comments?
This is Betty Head. I think it's...
Oh, go ahead.
Hello?
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, this is Betty Head from Albany County. I think it's great. I support the idea.
This is Jane Daniels. You can never have too much these days. People want to get out there and walk. It's a great idea, and I hope it goes through.
Thank you both. Okay, terrific. Okay, so this
was that a motion, Jane?
I'll make a motion.
All right, thank you. And Betty, would you like to second?
Yes, I'll second it.
Terrific. Okay. So all Conservancy Board members in favor of this approval, please signal by saying aye.
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 Actually, Betty is a member of the council, so we need to have a second from the Conservancy.
I'm sorry. Yes,
this is very open. I get the second.
Thank you, Aaron. Okay. So we heard a lot of ayes there. I think that's still okay. Are there any noes or nays? Okay, hearing none, it's adopted. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Okay, onward.
All right. Moving on to the adoption of the annual budget. There is, Kevin mentioned off the top of the meeting, there is no proposed contingency budget. I wanted to go over the document, at least in some form, but not spend a tremendous amount of time on it. I'll try to hit the highlights, and if anybody has questions, let me know. Salary and benefits are up this year due to the implementation of 2 years of steps, which are raises from the beginning of a grade to the top of the grade over a period of 7 years, and 2% raises for last year and this. These increases were withheld last year during the financial crisis brought on by the pandemic. New projects this year include resumption of grant making for trails and planning, which you've already seen, at least part of, preparation of new county maps showing all designated segments of the Greenway Trail as of today, several resurfacing projects on the Empire State Trail, which Andy has already mentioned, and construction, let's see, nope. Andy covered all of that. Hang on. One larger project that we're doing, which is different from in the past, is an update and expansion of Parks and Trails New York and our Cycling the Hudson Valley Guidebook, which will become a guide to the Empire State Trail and the Hudson and Champlain Valleys. We last published this with PTNY in 2011. This will be a companion to the Cycle the Erie Canal Guidebook, whose latest edition was released this year. We are working in partnership with the Natural Heritage Trust and the Northern Border Region Commission to cover costs associated with the area of the guide north of Whitehall, which is out of our area of responsibility. We expect to publish the guidebook next spring. All of this is in addition to our normal programming, which is contained within the budget. And we will also be implementing with the Hudson River National Estuarine Research Reserve a Piermont Marsh Restoration and Protection Project funded by the New York State Thruway Authority as part of the Mario M. Cuomo Bridge mitigation. Does anyone have any questions on the budget? Okay, moving on. As most of you are aware, the Conservancy, as a public benefit corporation, is required to annually file a series of financial reports with the Public Authorities Reporting Information System, or PARIS. And it happens to occur in the spring every year, so there you go. About 120 pages of your packet are taken up with these documents, most of which do not change from year to year. Note that the audit contained in your version is only a draft. The audit is ready to be finalized. However, we are waiting on one confirmation letter to be returned before the auditors will allow that to happen. The auditor does plan to issue an unqualified opinion, and there are no items on the management letter. We will review, and I will ask the board to accept the audit at our next meeting. Does anyone have any questions on the Paris documents?
Good job.
I was going to say, Scott, I mean, it's maybe a quick agenda item for us, but I want everyone to know how hard Scott and the staff work on all of these, meeting all these requirements and everything that goes into keeping our books orderly and clean, and we all appreciate it. It's never something that we have to worry about because we have such professionals on our team, and we know it's not easy. So thank you so much for
thank you, Kevin. On behalf of all of the folks that helped make this happen, especially Shannon and Beth, who are my key helpers on this. If no one has any other comments, I'll move on to the Conservancy Trail Grants. We are looking to award this quarter $190,750. The first one is for the Village of Briarcliff Manor in Westchester County. They are seeking, and the Grants Committee recommends, $72,550 for connecting the North County Trail, which is one of the designated segments of the Empire State Trail. They look to connect to the village's central business district with its many eateries and independent stores. The project will extend the Greenway Trail system, enhance recreation, and further economic development within Briarcliff Manor. So that hits a lot of our legislative mandate. Calvert Vow Preservation Alliance in Dutchess County is seeking $15,350 for the Hoyt Carriageway Bridge, but did not provide for enough match. Therefore, the Grants Committee is only able to recommend $13,100. The EPF funds that we use for the trail grants do not allow us to accept match from other state agencies. Part of the match that the Alliance put in was from the New York State Bridge Authority. That's not allowable. This project will generate an historic structures report for the Hoyt Drive Bridge in Mills Norrie State Park. This HSR will outline a plan of action and a budget to reopen the bridge and its pathway for pedestrian use. The bridge was erected in 1911 and crosses CSX railroad track. We are also looking into referring them to the Preservation League of New York State for technical assistance funding if their time frame works. Columbia Land Conservancy in Columbia County is seeking, and the Grants Committee recommends $20,000 to repair and resurface deteriorated sections of the 1.5-mile Access for All trail in the Greenport Conservation Area. Several hundred feet of the trail have compacted from years of heavy use. It retains water and ice, making the trail unsafe for users, the users it was designed for. This is an accessible trail. The work will bring the trail bed above grade and recrown the treadway. An expanded parking lot will also be created. Orange County is seeking, and the Grants Committee recommends $20,000 for paving of a trailhead and parking area, adding a bicycle rack, and repaving a mile-long segment of the 18-mile Heritage Trail, beginning at the 1950 Erie Railroad train station in Chester and moving southeast towards Monroe. The town of Cairo in Greene County is seeking, and the Grants Committee recommends $10,000 to expand the Mountaineer Rail Trail and add trail amenities to existing and proposed portions of the trail. Expansions of the trail would occur on a 500-foot town-owned trail off of Main Street. The new section would provide an additional access point and would connect the existing trail to the Main Street corridor. Proposed amenities will include wayfinding, signage, benches, landscape nodes, and a kiosk. The town of Phillipstown in Putnam County is seeking, and the Grants Committee recommends $37,100 for a connector trail feasibility study and action plan for the Phillipstown Connector Trail, a multi-use trail that would connect the village of Cold Spring to the Garrison train station. This is the next phase of a resident-led project to facilitate non-motorized transportation, specifically biking and walking. That is all of the normal trail grants. We also have 2 Conservancy AHET trail maintenance grants. They total $17,500. The Columbia Friends of the Electric Trail in Columbia County is seeking, and the committee recommends $10,000 to continue CFET services in maintaining a 13.5-mile section of the AHET Trail. This section is in the towns of Chatham and Kinderhook, excluding the village of Kinderhook, towns of Stuyvesant, Stockport, and Greenport, and the village of Valatia. Maintenance will be done on the off-road sections of the trail. Maintenance activities will consist of mowing shoulders, string trimming, litter removal, tree limb removal, and patrolling the trail to identify maintenance issues. They've been working for more than a year on this, and they're doing a terrific job, as is the Rensselaer Land Trust in Rensselaer County. They are seeking, and the Grants Committee recommends $7,500 to continue their services in maintaining a 6.6-mile section of the AHET Trail located in the town of Schodack. They are also doing grass mowing, weed whacking, tree trimming, removal of fallen leaves, trees, and tree limbs, litter removal, and trailhead parking maintenance. They also monitor and report to the Greenway on any capital rehabilitation needs, as does CFET. Do any board members have questions on any of the proposed trail grants?
This is Jeannie Williams. Just a correction. The town of Cairo usually pronounces it Caro, as like in Caro syrup.
I know that. I blew it.
That's all right.
Any other comments? All right, Chairman Burke, we need a motion to adopt the annual budget, accept the Paris documents, and award the grants.
And the motion you shall have. Okay, let me call for a Conservancy Board member to offer a motion and a second at this time.
I'll make a motion. It's Sarah.
I think we heard both. I heard Sarah, and there was someone else.
That's okay. It's Jeannie. Sarah can do it.
Oh, no. Here, so Jeannie first and Sarah second. Great. Okay. Terrific. Thank you both. Everyone in favor of this, please signal by saying aye. Aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any notes? Okay. There you have it.
Any abstentions? Excellent.
Just a comment. This is Jeannie again. It's wonderful to have grants again, to be able to fund all these trail projects. And we have also seen that if you build it, they will come. That during the COVID activity, we certainly have had unbelievable amounts of people out on trails in New York State.
Absolutely. Thank you, Jeannie. That concludes the Conservancy meeting. Kevin, if you want to call Kevin and Bob, if you want to call the Heritage Area meeting together.
To order. Yeah, sure. Absolutely. Let's move on to the NHA.
Okay. We have a couple items here, including Heritage Development grants. The total amount that we are seeking to award is $35,000. The first one is for the Friends of the Odell House in Westchester County. They are seeking, and the Grants Committee recommends $5,000 for the decision that won the American Revolution, the 1781 French-American encampment. This will be a multimedia project to educate children and adults of all ages about one of the most important events in the American Revolution. It will consist of a digital presentation, a physical exhibition, and a short video. The next grant is for the Irish American Heritage Museum in Albany County, which is a new applicant for us. They are seeking, and the Grants Committee recommends $5,000 for collars, canals, and conflagration. An exhibition supported by additional programming materials at the Irish American Heritage Museum. It will focus on activism by Irish immigrants in the Capital District, particularly the women who worked in factories in Troy, firefighters, and laborers who dug the Erie Canal. And we are going to ask them to also mention the people who worked on the Champlain Canal as well. The Olana Partnership, Columbia County, is seeking, and the Grants Committee recommends $5,000 for Panorama Summer Learning Program for Youth, a week-long summer learning institute for audiences ages 6 to 11. Each week, participants will explore nature through observation, science experiments, and outdoor excursions while developing an artistic eye and learning to sketch and paint just like Frederick Church. Probably not quite as well. Each week is centered around a specific theme relating to Olana's mission to provide educational opportunities for visitors related to studio art, art history, and environmental science. The program is taught by expert teachers and educators in their respective fields. Shaker Heritage Site in Albany County is seeking, and the Grants Committee recommends $5,000 for virtual water volute relaunch. In 2020, the Society's award-winning interactive website, Virtual Water Volute, became inaccessible due to platform obsolescence. They are seeking funding to support a 4-phase relaunch, including data migration, revision of educational materials, and reinstatement of interactive 2D and 3D tour components. The next one is Sing Sing Prison Museum in Westchester County. They are seeking, and the Grants Committee recommends $10,000 for Sing Sing Prison Museum exhibition. The proposed project is to redesign, relocate, and translate the Sing Sing Prison Sing Sing Prison exhibition from the Village of Ossing's Community Center to the Sing Sing Prison Museum's Powerhouse Preview Center. The current exhibition, opened in 1991 by the State Heritage Areas Program, is informative but dated with no recent scholarship or contemporary design. And we know that Mr. Elliott will have to abstain on this one, as he is the chairman of the group looking to develop this project. Westmoreland Sanctuary in Westchester County is seeking, and the Grants Committee recommends $5,000 to develop a free Westmoreland Sanctuary virtual tour of their 640-acre property on their website. The project would be bilingual, English and Spanish, and highlight 10 important natural and cultural features throughout their sanctuary to educate audiences about habitats, histories, and wildlife of the Hudson Valley. Do any members of either board, both boards vote on this one, so do any members of either board have any questions about the Heritage Development Grants? Okay. One of the chair or the acting chair needs to call for a motion, please.
Okay, I'm happy to do that, Scott. This is for the NHA. Scott, just for clarification, can you remind members who can vote on these?
Everyone, all board members can vote on the National Heritage Area grants.
Terrific. Okay, thanks.
Thanks.
Okay, so I'd like to call for a motion for that.
I feel I need to.
This is Betsy. I'll make a motion.
Trail conferences.
Carla Castillo seconds the motion.
Who seconded, please?
Carla Castillo.
Carla, thank you.
Thank you, Carla. Okay, so Betsy and Carla, thank you very much. Let's everyone who's in favor of this, please signal by saying aye.
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 St. Daniels, did you get my Moreland?
No, we did not. You were. There were other people talking. So go ahead. Do you have to abstain?
I think I should abstain because the trail conference works. I'm on trails and associated with the trail conference. So let's just say a potential conflict of interest. So I abstain on that one.
And which one?
Westmoreland.
Westmoreland. Okay.
And this is Bob Elliott. As Scott said, I need to abstain for the thing.
Okay, Bob. Thank you. All right, that takes care of the grants. I wanted to give you an update on the Dutch Native American brochure distribution. We've sent out over 15,000 copies of the brochure so far, and the Dutch consulate has expressed their pleasure at how the brochure turned out and noted that positive feedback has come from both consulate staff as well as their permanent mission to the United Nations. So we're pleased with that. Kevin, if you have no objections, I'll move into my executive director report.
Yes, please do.
Okay. This has been a lot, so I'm going to try to be brief here. All staff is back in the office on a part-time basis. We are awaiting guidance from the Office of General Services and the Department of Health on how the office will be operating once we reach a statewide level of 70% of people being vaccinated, of adults being vaccinated. Currently, those of us in adjoining cubicles are not allowed to be in the office at the same time. This is especially true for everyone with very short walls between the adjoining cubicles, which is all but two of us. Only Andy and I have high walls all the way around. We are also coordinating with DEC personnel who sit next to those of us, to some of us on one side as well, to avoid conflicts. So that's where we stand in terms of being back in business. I am devoutly hoping that our next meeting it can be held in person and in a room that doesn't echo. And let's see, I guess that's it for the executive director's report. We've covered a lot of what we did since we last met in March in the body of the meeting. So, Kevin, if you want to move on to new business.
Yeah. Absolutely, and as I said at the top, Scott, I echo and share your feelings of October. I really hope we can be in person together again after the summer. With that, let me open this up and ask if there's any new business any of our members want to share.
Yes, this is Betsy. I would like to just make note that Tara Sullivan, the acting director of the Bridge Authority, is retiring. And she's been an enormous help to the Greenway, so I just wanted to recognize her service.
Thank you. I was unaware of that.
Thank you, Betsy. Anyone else? Okay. Scott, do you want to tell us about the upcoming meetings?
Yes, our next meeting is October 13th, 2021, at a location to be determined, I hope. And the one after that is December 8th. And we will, by the October meeting, we will try to have a schedule of 2022 meetings for you to review and approve.
That's great. And let's just take the last minute or two here before we adjourn, Scott, just to thank the staff.
Yes, thank
again,
you.
We really cannot, underestimate how difficult this year's been for them and how much they've soldiered on in the face of a lot of challenges. That's from Scott down, and I really want to thank all of you on behalf of the boards for all that you do to keep the Greenway going. And Scott, if you want to personalize that anyway, please do. But we just are so grateful and admiring of all that you and the staff do.
As you said, everyone has looked at this year and the difficulties proposed and just gotten down to it and figured out how to do the job. We've had some huge successes this past year, starting with the completion of the Empire State Trail that Andy and his team rode to a successful conclusion or near conclusion, but also acquiring grants, getting a new brochure out, and a variety of other projects that we have completed and we've reviewed over the last few meetings. And everyone on the staff has really been above and beyond this year. And I'm very pleased that they're going to get raises. And that's it for me.
All right, thank you, Scott.
Well, you guys
thank you all of our
been remarkable.
Yeah, they're remarkable, Scott.
Thank you, Kitty.
Everyone. And listen, as we adjourn here, have a safe, wonderful summer, and we will look forward to seeing you in the fall. But in the meantime, go out and enjoy our beloved valley. Thank you, everyone.
Thank
you, everybody.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.